Oh, I knew that was coming.
We'll see what happens with it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's... Yep.
Oh, so I really don't read a lot of books. It's like I listen to a lot of audiobooks while I'm working. So it's like I really don't have time to like sit down and read one very often. But when I'm off for Christmas, I'm hoping to be able to sit down and read your book.
It's a very, very thick book, as you've seen.
Yes.
I mean, that's not a bad idea, actually, Garrison, to like record it as an audio book as well.
That's the game plan to eventually be able to do that. It just costs a lot of money to do that.
Yeah.
If you do it yourself.
Oh, brother, if I did it, you wouldn't be able to listen. I mean, I wrote the damn thing, and I'd still be stumbling over words.
Hey, so you'd just be like me with the podcast.
Exactly.
Fuck, you're right. You know what? Fuck, I might do that. Fuck it.
You know how many things that I have written down on these slides, and I do not say it. I change it in mid-sentence for no reason, even though I'm reading it.
That's fair.
Like, yeah. But I mean, if you get it recorded and then get it on Spotify, and Audible and all of those sort of things.
Yeah, I could do that.
However, I will be ordering one myself after all my trips because I am hemorrhaging money right now for this is like my busy time of the year. I've got did my weekend in Wellington for IPMS New Zealand Nationals. Then I'm at Canberra next weekend for Scale ACT. More on that a bit later. And then at the end of November, I'm going to Nick's, Scale Armourer. You guys know him, remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we knew that.
Yes.
I'm going to his wedding at the end of November, so it ain't cheap. Literally saving up, living on the bare bones of my ass at the moment, saving up to like spend about $1,000 in flights and a couple of hundred in accommodation and stuff. So it's like, I have not been spending much money at all.
So with all that going on, you're probably not coming to Nationals next year, then, are you?
Honestly, if I start once I start after Adelaide wedding, after that I'll start saving up for that as well. And honestly, if I keep doing at the rate I do, then I'm currently saving like $1,000 a month, basically.
Damn.
So if I can do that, then that should be able to cover it. I mean, I usually end up being fairly cheap on holidays anyway, but I don't like spending money, so, what can you do?
It'd be like that, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah. But, I totally should make Indiana next year. Even if I have to borrow a bit of money from the old parents, the old bank mum and dad, but that's an interest-free loan, so,
Oh, yeah.
better than going to a bank and paying them for it.
Yeah.
When exactly is Nats again?
July?
I don't know.
I think it's July,
right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll find out when I get this new job, how time off works and whatnot, and start saving up my time off for that.
Nice. At least,
then,
like I'm going into summer holidays soon as well. I've been given 24 days off work, so I usually don't spend money over the holiday anyway because I don't go anywhere. I have no reason to leave my house. I have everything I want here, so I end up saving a shit ton of money over that time as well. So.
Same. It's like, why did you gotta do things? It's like, I'm sitting at home enjoying my electricity, okay?
Yeah, I pay for it. I'm gonna use it.
I'm enjoying my property taxes.
I pay so much for this damn place, I'm gonna sit here and enjoy it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. As I have my house set up to the point I like being in it and I don't like being not in it. So,
Yes.
Yes.
like, I'll take a couple of days off work here and there because I just accumulate too much annual leave. And, like, people who don't know me in the office will go, "Oh, so you're going away?" Nope. "Oh, so you got plans?" Nope. "So what are you going to do?" "Sit at my workbench, not leave the house, and build stuff." That's it.
It's
That's what I'm
called
using my
scale
time off for.
modeling.
Yeah. Anyway, talking about scale modeling, I guess we should officially start this episode, shall we?
Might as
think
well.
it's time.
So, welcome to the Micro Machines podcast. It's been a little bit slow, but usually we're averaging about an episode a month this year, so I am pretty happy with that. This month, week, whatever you want to say, we are going to be talking about the Henschel Hs-129, formerly known as the Panzerquacken, but online it is known as the Panzerquacken, primarily because it looks like a duck.
It does. Ugly little fuck.
Yeah,
It's
and
beautiful.
oh, believe me, this is it. This is a later variant we're seeing right now. The early variant. Hope you've got a strong stomach. We'll say that.
Oh, it's not that bad.
I don't know. Well, seeing everything else it was compared against, it's the lesser of evil. We'll say. But before we get talking about the HS-129, we should do our usual introduction. So, first off, you have me, Callum, from New Zealand, currently finally getting into the warm weather down here. I am not a winter person, I'm purely a summer person. Who's next?
You got me, Garrison, out here in Kansas, sitting in my basement, working on some newer Tamiya figures, drinking maple syrup coffee, and
Nice.
enjoying the cold weather because I'm a cold weather guy, unlike Callum.
Then you got me, Clint, in Indiana, sitting close to my workbench, also enjoying the nice cool weather because I love the fall. Unlike other
Hell
people.
yeah.
You two are weird. I much prefer sitting on a bench at a beach with a nice cold drink. It's much nicer.
Nah. Give me
It's
the
okay to be
Appalachian
warm.
Mountains in the fall. That's heaven right there.
Nah. Beach with a line in the water, good fishing, nice cold drink. That's me. That's all I need.
See, Callum, it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah,
I know.
we still love you. It's okay.
I know it is. The majority of people are wrong.
And you're one of them. Okay.
Oh, all right. HS-129, the origins. And the origins for this plane go back all the way to the Spanish Civil War in 36 to 39.
You.
During the Spanish Civil War, it became a live test range for Germany, Italy, and the USSR to trial new weapons and tactics, especially close air support. Yeah. For all those who don't know, this is the time when the Soviets and the Germans were allies and cooperating with building tanks, design, stuff like that. And basically, Germans sent their stuff to one side, Russians sent their stuff to the other side, and they got valuable information on how well all their stuff actually worked. So kind of feel sorry for the Spanish at this point of they were just used to test out stuff in a realistic warfare.
So this is
one of my favorite things is who won the... Yes. So one of my favorite things is like, who won the Spanish Civil War? It's like, oh, Germany.
Yeah. Well, that's how the Germans found out the Panzer I was absolutely diabolically shit in concept against, say, the T-26, which even then that had light armor. It's just that armor-piercing 7.92s don't do much.
No.
Believe it or not. A 45mm is much better.
Even the Panzer II. We're not talking about Panzer, so let's...
So, Germany found that dive bombers like the Ju-87 could hit fixed and slow targets accurately, while older biplanes such as the Heinkel HE-51 and the Henschel Hs-123, one of my favorite biplanes, that one, were simply too slow, lightly armored, and vulnerable to tackle fast maneuverable targets like tanks and troop concentrations. Although the HS-123 was very good with infantry to support. Go to Rex's Hangar on YouTube. He did a really big deep dive into that aircraft. It was really cool. Spain made clear the Luftwaffe needed a purpose-built, well-armoured ground attack aircraft. Feedback from the Legion Condor led the Reich Air Ministry's technical office to issue a spec in April 1937, a small twin-engined close-support plane carrying 20mm cannon, heavy machine guns, and bombs. The office suggested, but didn't require, the Argus AS410 engine, which had around 465 horsepower on takeoff, which is not much. He designed...
For that time period, it was pretty good.
Yeah, this is the time when you brought out the latest in aircraft, only to find that it was already obsolete. So,
yeah.
Key design goals were low-level battlefield work, so did not require a rear gunner. Strong armor for pilot and engines. Survivability in forced landings and simple, easy-to-maintain construction for rough forward airfields. 4 firms were invited to compete: Focke-Wulf, Gotha, Hamburg, which also later became Blohm + Voss, and Henschel. Gotha missed the deadline. Hamburg, or Blohm + Voss, and Focke-Wulf adapted existing reconnaissance designs, the HA-141, or also known as the BV-141, and the Focke-Wulf 189, while Henschel submitted a fresh design built to the spec. Hamburg's P-40 from the HA-141 kept the unusual asymmetric layout, a single boom left of center with the crew in a separate nacelle, giving superb visibility and reduced ground handling torque. Focke-Wulf's take used the Focke-Wulf 189's twin boom layout, but added a small, heavily armoured crew nacelle with the pilot and rear gunner back-to-back, armoured glass windshield, and proposed armament like 220mm MG151-20 cannon, plus several 7.92mm machine guns. Henschel's design, the P-46, was about 20% smaller and lighter than the Focke-Wulf's 189, and used the same pair of 465 horsepower Argus AS410A-0 engines, giving it better speed, which wasn't saying much. It had an odd triangular fuselage, narrow at the top and wider at the base, which helped deflect bullets but made the cockpit tight. Armor plating protected the pilot's back, and a steeply slanted nose offered good downward visibility, though overall sightlines were still poor. Armament included 2 20mm cannon and 2 7.92mm machine guns in the fuselage. The cramped cockpit forced the gun sight to be mounted outside the windshield. A windshield which was also about 75mm thick, by the way.
Damn. It was armored.
That really was. It needed to, considering how slow it was.
Yeah.
After reviewing the submissions in October 1937, the RLM quickly dropped Hamburg's P-40 as it was too unconventional. By that it means it did work quite well, but they just didn't like, it didn't look like an aircraft, So that's they were very conservative with designs, and the 141 was just a little bit too outside the spectrum. Both the Focke-Wulf and Henschel designs barely met minimum specs, mainly because the Argus engines were underpowered, although that never stopped anything in the military from being ordered, barely meeting minimum. The RLM ordered 3 prototypes in September 1938 anyway. Focke-Wulf's version became the Focke-Wulf FW189B, later known as the 189C, and Henschel's became the HS-129. Henschel finished its first prototype, the HS-129V-1, by spring 1939, but engine delays pushed its first flight to May 26. Test pilots criticized both aircraft for poor visibility, sluggish handling, and weak engines. The heavier Focke-Wulf 189 handled worse, while the HS-129's cockpit was uncomfortably tight. Despite this, the HS-129 performed slightly better overall. The 189 prototype later crashed due to control failure, ending its chances. Henchel's second and third prototypes flew in late 1939 and early 1940, though one crashed during testing. By September 1940, the RLM compared Focke-Wulf's updated 189C against the 129, decided in favor of Henchel's design. It was cheaper to build, offered marginally better performance, and became the Luftwaffe's new dedicated ground attack aircraft. You were going to say something?
I just said, oh.
And here we have down here we have the Focke-Wulf 189, which looks a bit different from the 189 most people know. The standard 189, the reconnaissance one, had a big glazed cockpit and plenty of room, whereas this one's like, that looks ugly as fuck. I gotta say.
I mean, it literally looks like a duck.
It does. It's cute.
And that's not even the 129 we're talking about. That's the Focke-Wulf one. And then the Blumenvoss, of course, on the right.
Which I love how odd it is.
I mean, the ironic thing is, it actually flew very well. It was a very good aircraft. It was just way too unconventional. You know, people didn't put any faith into it because it was just too out of the ordinary, which is sad. So, the very first, the HS-129A-0, although I totally misspelt that in the slide, but I'll fix that later. Maybe. In July 1940. Sorry?
You just type a note.
In July 1940, Henschel started building 23 pre-production HS-129s, designated as HS-129AO, even while testing was still underway in Weschlin. These aircraft were given factory numbers 129304 to 129326, with the first one flying in August 1st, 1940. Later that year, the Reich Air Ministry cut the order down to 14. Service trials began that autumn with 5 LG2 at Tutau, which also operated BF-109Es and HS-123s. By the end of 1940, the unit had 7 HS-129AOs, and the rest arrived in January 1941. Pilots quickly echoed the test reports: underpowered engines, sluggish performance, tricky handling. One aircraft even crashed in December 1940, killing both occupants. Despite the issues, work continued. 2 aircraft were returned to Henschel for engine testing, while the rest went to 4 SG-101 at Paris, a training unit that kept them flying until late 1944.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
well,
honestly a surprise.
if you don't crash it and it still works, by 1944 the Germans didn't have a lot of choice, options, anything really.
That's fair.
The HS-129A0 had an all-metal airframe with stress-skin construction. Its 2-spar center wing section, which carried the engines, was built into the fuselage for strength and protected by 5mm of armor. The wings had a slight sweep, slotted airlines, and flap, and a main landing gear that retracted into the engine nacelles, though the wheels stuck out a bit to soften belly landings, a reoccurring theme with these. The 129AO carried a 205-litre fuel tanks in the wing center section and another 200 litres behind the cockpit. All were self-sealing due to reduce fire risk, and the aircraft ran on standard 87-octane B4 used by most Luftwaffe planes. The nose was made from welded armor plate and featured a heavily armored bathtub cockpit to protect the pilot from ground fire. Armor thickness ranged from 6mm on the sides to 12mm on the front and bottom. The FUG radio and first aid kit were placed behind the cockpit, accessible through side panels. A single fixed tail wheel was mounted under the rear fuselage. The 129AO measured 14.2 meters across the wings, 9.75 meters long, and 3.25 meters high, dimensions that all stayed the same for later variants. It weighed 3,260 kilograms empty, 4,310 kilograms fully loaded. Power came from the two 465 horsepower Argus AS410A1s. Inline air-cooled engines with two-bladed variable pitch propellers. The aircraft could reach about 407 kilometers per hour, climb to 5,400 meters, and had a range of roughly 650 kilometers. Armament included the two 7.92mm MG-17 machine guns with 500 rounds each, and two 20mm MG-151-20 cannons, each with 125 rounds each. And these were all mounted in the fuselage sides, with visible bulges over the wing roots for the cannon breeches. It could also carry four 50-kilogram bombs or two Nebelgerät smoke tanks under the fuselage. The Luftwaffe rejected the Argus-powered A-series despite proposed improvements. In early 1941, the RLM cancelled the Focke-Wulf 189C order and switched to 60 Hs-129s fitted with more powerful 700 horsepower French Gnome Rhone. That one always gets me. Gnome Rhone. Oh, I will forever get them mixed up. 14M radial engines, around 50% stronger than the Argus. These aircraft were redesignated 129B-Os and B-1s after the A-series was officially dropped. And you can see right here, the engines are quite different, being inlines than the radials of the later variants, which does look a bit weird, especially these weird props where they have these like extra blades on the hubs for some reason. I cannot tell why.
No idea.
However, I will give them props for the absolute sick shark teeth markings on the nose of this one. Kind of goes hard.
Spicy duck.
Now, if you want to build the A series, I could only find two kits, and I'm not sure you'd want to go anywhere near them. The first one is Pavla, made in the Czech Republic, in 72nd, and RS models in 72nd as well, and these are a limited edition resin kit. Yeah, and unfortunately, you can't just say replace the engines from a B variant because the actual nose design is slightly different as well. So you'd have to do a lot of modifications on that.
Ratch building.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, if you really, really, really want to build an A series, well, there are your two options.
Good luck.
So, in the B series, we have three variants, the BO or the B1, the B2, and the B3. We're going to talk about them all separately because they all have some fairly big changes with them, especially from the B2 to the B3. There's a very noticeable difference. After the disappointing 129A trials in 1940, the RLM rejected the follow-up A1, calling it too sluggish. Henchel's chief designer, Frederick Nicholas, started work on an improved version called the P76, which kept the same basic layout but was slightly larger. Had about a 15.5 meter wingspan, 10.1 meter length, and 3.5 high. It was to be powered by two 700 horsepower French Gnome Rhone 14M 04-05 radial engines driving three-bladed variable pitch propellers, with the engines rotating in opposite directions to improve handling. You also reduce torque as well on takeoff by doing that. However, because the Luftwaffe urgently needed a ground attack aircraft, Henschel had to shelve the P-76 and adapt the new engines to the existing A1s. In early 1941, the HS-129V3 project was refitted with the Gnome Rhone engines in Schonfield. Engineers modified the wing center section and engine mounts to handle the bigger engines and shifted equipment rearward to balance the new weight. The upgraded plane, now called the HS-129V3U1, first flew in March 1941. Tests at Rechlin showed a major improvement in performance compared to the Argus-powered version. Funny that when you double the engine power, you get better handling. Who would have thought? Also, you'll find a lot of these smaller batch German aircraft being powered by French engines and stuff like that. Purely because all the standard German ones were kind of needed for everything else, 109s and stuff like that. So, yeah, a lot of German aircraft were powered with French stuff that they captured. Yeah,
Mhm.
just a funny quirk. As a result, Henschel began converting nearly all completed A1s to the new configuration, redesignated them as the B0s. The first full conversion was HS-129AO, WNR-129307.
Oh,
BO.
007, huh?
Yep. The BO kept the same basic layout as the earlier A series, but introduced several refinements. The wings were straightened along the leading edge, increasing the area from 28.4 to 29 meters squared, which improved handling and made assembly faster. The nose was reshaped, larger and more rounded for better aerodynamics, and the cockpit got a major visibility upgrade. A single-piece windshield replaced the old split design, with bigger side and roof panels for a clearer view. Some engine gauges were moved out of the cramped cockpit and into the inner nacelles, where the pilot could read them through the canopy. There's a very cool picture of that. You literally have dials on the engines outside.
Yeah, like the JU-88 had that too.
Yeah. Excuse me. The follow-up, B1, only differed slightly, featuring open gun troughs instead of the blast tubes, redesigned engine air intakes, and rearranged radio gear. It kept the same armament as the BO, two 20 mils and which were above the nose, and two 7.92s, which were below. The first of these aircraft flew in December 1941. The 129's weapons setup caused plenty of confusion, thanks to multiple armament combinations and field kits that were never clearly numbered. A Luftwaffe document from the 1st of January 1942 listed the following. Standard armament was two 7.92mm MG machine guns with 1,000 rounds each, two 20 mils with 250 rounds each, and you could get one 24 by 24mm robotic automatic camera in the fuselage for, recording your skill shots.
Hell yeah. Kill cam.
Optional equipment. You could have one 30mm Mark 101 cannon with 30 rounds in an under fuselage gondola, four extra 7.92mm MG17s with 1,000 rounds total in a streamlined fairing, four 50kg SC-50 bombs or 48 smaller SD-2 cluster bombs under the wings, or one RB-20-30 aerial camera. Henschel completed the 10 BOs built to B1 standards, followed by 50 new B1s. Production then shifted from Schonfeld to Joenstal, near Berlin. In late 1941, the RLM ordered the B1 tropical version with desert filters, but this was cancelled in April 42. The last 10 aircraft from that batch became the first B2s instead. And usually we go straight into building a model for this, but there's so much interconnected stuff into this. I'm changing up the format slightly. So straight to the B2. When the B1 entered service in the Eastern Front in spring 1942, it quickly showed some serious issues. Main problem was its Gnome 14M engines, which were unreliable, prone to seizing, overheating, highly sensitive to dust, and battle damage. All of which are great for engines. To fix this, Frederick Nicholas and his Henschel design team made a series of upgrades. The engine cowlings were redesigned, the long exhaust pipe shortened to improve cooling, and the round air intakes replaced with angular ones fitted with better dust filters. The fuel system was also overhauled with a pressure regulator near the fuel filter and new feeder pumps in the wing tanks to prevent vapor lock in hot climates. These improvements led to the HS-129B2, the main production version that made up over 90% of all 129s built. The first example was completed in May 1942, originally part of a 250 aircraft order. The B2 kept the same airframe as the B1 but featured small refinements. Early models lost the tall radio mast in favor of a wire antenna stretched from the fuselage to the tail. Later aircraft received a loop antenna for radio navigation and a rear view mirror on the canopy for, when you want to reverse.
Yeah. I was just thinking, hey, let's back it up, Hans.
Well, it's before we had backup cameras, so.
Yeah. The shortened exhaust became standard on all late builds as well. A few B2s were even fitted with tow coupling, with a tow coupling for hauling DFS 230 assault gliders, though there's no record of this combination ever being used in combat. Probably because the 129s struggled to get itself off the ground, to be honest.
Hey, it needs some Viagra to get up, bro.
The B2 kept the same basic armament layout, two 20 mils and two 7.92 mil machine guns in the nose. A field conversion kit could carry bombs under the wings for two 50-kilogram bombs, while the aircraft could also carry either four 50-kilogram bombs or a single 500-kilogram bomb under the fuselage. Another kit replaced the fuselage 30mm Mark 101 cannon used on the B1 with the more powerful Mark 103, which fired faster and flatter, making it more effective against tanks. It carried 100 rounds of armor-piercing ammo. A further upgrade option was the 37mm BK 3.7 cannon, mounted in a gondola under the fuselage with 12 rounds, essentially the same weapon fitted to the Ju-87G1 Stuka. Installing the BK 3.7 required removing the two MG-17s and their ammo to keep the weight down. Both the BK 3.7 and the Mark 103 proved effective against the thinner side and rear armor of Soviet tanks. As the war turned against Germany in 1942, the Luftwaffe shifted the 129's role from close air support to dedicated tank busting. Many B2s left the factory pre-configured as Waffenträger, or weapon carriers, fitted with heavy anti-armor guns right off the production line rather than as field conversions. To save weight, the wing bomb racks were often omitted entirely. On the 25th of May 1943, the RLM issued a production plan outlining the status of HS-129 manufacturing as of the 1st of April 1943. The goal was to build 1,635 HS-129Bs, divided into four armament or equipment categories. You had 30mm Mark 101 cannons, 275 aircraft with 122 planned. They only managed to build 153 of these. Towing coupling for the air assault gliders. They ordered 595 aircraft. Only 101 were completed. 129s fitted with the 30mm Mark 103 cannon. They ordered 155 aircraft, and none were completed. Bomb racks, 610 aircraft were ordered, 292 were built. Yeah. I gotta say, disappointing numbers, I gotta say, when you're ordering stuff and you don't... Then again, the Germans were always like that. They wanted 1,000, like World War I, the A7V, they wanted 1,000 of them. By that time of the war, they had enough material physically to produce 12. Yeah,
Hey, you want what you want, okay?
Yeah, but like they reoccurring thing with the Germans. We want this much. We can only build this much because physically we don't have the material. Henschel was initially supposed to produce up to 40 129Bs per month, but conflicting RLM orders constantly disrupted output. At various times, the company was told to switch from HS-129 production to licensed Junkers Ju-88 bombers, and then to Messerschmitt Me-410s, and then later the Ju-388. Retooling for these changes, combined with labor shortages and the use of less experienced foreign workers, caused production to fall to as low as 20 aircraft per month by late 1942. By the end of 1943, Henschel had delivered 664 HS-129Bs, but losses were devastating. Around 75%, or 495 aircraft, were destroyed in combat accidents or left behind on overrun airfields. Allied bombing raids also crippled output, hitting Henchel's factories and those of key suppliers. Although the RLM's 1942 plan called for 1,128 B-2s by March 1945, Henschel still managed to build just over 1,000 aircraft before production finally ended in September 1944. So, I touched a bit about the all the weapons, all these weapon packs that they could carry. And we're just going to go through just to show everyone what they look like. Because there was one that is absolute crackhead planning idea. But it's so interesting, I just have to talk about it. It never went into service, unfortunately. But there's still records and there's still photos of it, so we'll talk about it. But that'll be in a minute. First up is the R3 installation of 4 7.92mm machine gun MG17 machine guns, as we can see here. Also, a nice little feature for all these weapon packs is they were all hinged on one side, so when you're working on them, you don't have to pull them out, you just unhinge them and swing them down, and you had full access to them.
Great idea.
The R3 installed 4 extra 7.92mm MG17 machine guns on the Hs-129 in a streamlined ventral fairing, usually fed with about 1,000 rounds total, or 250 rounds per gun. It was a straightforward way to boost the 129's firepower for strafing soft targets, supply columns, and unarmored vehicles. We all know what those soft targets are. Running. But it came at a cost, added weight, drag, and reduced speed and handling. And it offered little against tank armor. In practice, R3 was a useful anti-personnel area suppression weapon rather than an anti-tank solution. The Soviets tried that as well. Their Tu-2 medium bomber, they installed something like 125 PPSH-41s facing downwards in the bomb bay, each with a 71 round drum magazine in them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Only one's been able to do it right, and that's spooky.
Yeah. Next, the 30mm Mk103 cannon. First fitted to the B2 variant, the 103 replaced the earlier 101, which had been the standard 30mm weapon on the B1. The new cannon offered a higher rate of fire and a flatter trajectory, making it better suited for engaging Soviet armored vehicles at low altitude. The 103 installation was part of a field conversion kit designated the R2 and consisted of a ventral gun pod mounted beneath the fuselage. This pod carried 100 rounds of armor-piercing ammo, primarily for anti-tank role. The 103 armed B2s were deployed mainly in the Eastern Front, where their mission shifted from general close air support to specialized anti-armor attacks. Luftwaffe pilots typically aimed at the side and rear armor of Soviet tanks, where the 30mm APCR rounds had a much higher potential probability of penetration. Factory-built B2s were produced with the 103 as standard equipment rather than as a field retrofit. These aircraft formed the core of the Luftwaffe's Panzerjäger, or tank hunter units, in 43 to 44. Despite its effectiveness in experienced hands, production delays, attrition, and the vulnerability of the slow, low-flying 129 limited its overall impact on the Eastern Front. And here you can see what this looks like, the 103, and also what sort of damage it does to, that's a KV-1, and it still managed to get through the side of a KV-1.
Hell yeah.
Little note as well, so you see this muzzle brake?
Mm-hmm.
This is for the modeling part, if you're going to model one of these. So the 30mm has this unique muzzle brake on it. The muzzle brake does not sit horizontally. It sits on about...
It looks like it's canted.
It is canted by 45 degrees, which means that the exhaust ports on one side are facing up to the aircraft on an angle. And you'll see in this bottom left photo for all the viewers, you got this black mark. That is that's from the what do you call it? The gases.
Yeah.
And it's only on one side. one side of it, whichever way the muzzle brake is actually facing up. So, yeah, if you're going to build one of these, a little weathering hint: just blacken off one side, and you'll be sweet. You'll have it actually right, and put it on a 45-degree angle. Just a little.
Was there a reason why was that canted like that, or?
Not that I could find. I couldn't find anything about that. I was trying to figure out something, but I just couldn't. All I know is they had to strengthen that bit because it had a tendency to, like, it was weakening the metal.
Yeah.
I gotta say, those 30mm rounds are huge.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, the 37mm BK 3.7 cannon. I could only find one photo of a 129 with this cannon on it. The 37mm BK 3.7 was a blunt but deadly idea. Strap a big anti-armor cannon under attack planes and to take out T-34s on the eastern front. It was simple and could kill tanks if the pilot aimed for weak spots, turret tops, engine decks. But it came with big downsides. Poor accuracy, heavy weight that made the aircraft an easy target for fighters, and very limited ammo. In the hands of a master like, say, Hans Ulrich Rudel, with his BK Arm Ju-87G, it was devastating. In inexperienced hands, it was a riskier gamble. Several types tried the concept. The Ju-88P series mounted twin BK 3.7s in a ventral pod, a P2 and P3, but these P types were generally judged failures as anti-tank bomber-destroyer designs. One of those is down here on the bottom left. You can see the two cannons sticking out of that ventral turret.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looks cool.
It does.
The upside of a cannon versus bomb was that a relatively light AP projectile could score a kill by hitting thinner top and rear armor, and you could carry more shells than big bombs. One surviving Ju-87G at the RAF Museum Cosford still has wing hardpoints for BK pods, though they are not fitted. On the 129, the BK 3.7 was also offered as a weapons option, fitted in a single under-fuselage gondola with about 12 rounds. Installing the BK usually meant removing the two MG17s and ammo. Like on other types, the BK-equipped 129s could be lethal against side and rear armor when used by skilled crews, but the heavy gun and small ammo load made the slow, low flyer even more vulnerable to fighters and ground fire.
So, what about Hans Ulrich? What's his numbers look like here?
Not sure, because it's hard to say. One thing you have to remember when it comes to, especially the Germans, right? Big on the old propaganda, as was everyone, but they liked propaganda numbers. A lot of their numbers are kind of like, you take them with a grain of salt. It's like, how many did he get versus how many is the state saying he got to, keep up morale back in Germany and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to determine how many. And also, there were a lot of accounts of a destroyed tank being hit again, and that being counted as a destroyed tank.
Yeah.
Like there was one tank battle where I think something like 110 tanks were claimed as destroyed, and then it was found out that in this particular mission there was only like 40 tanks in total used. So there's a lot of that going. There's also a lot of that, so it's kind of hard to tell how many he actually got.
Yeah.
So like America and Vietnam.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is the weird one I want us to talk about. The SG-113A Fonderstand, Forsterstand, whatever, German. This is crackhead. The first HS-129BO was used to experiment with the SG-113A Forsterstand, an ambitious but ultimately impractical anti-tank system. The design featured a T-shaped antenna mounted on the aircraft's nose, designed to sense the magnetic field of large metal objects, such as tanks, as the aircraft flew low over the battlefield. When the sensor detected a target, it triggered the release of 6 77mm armor-piercing shells arranged vertically in the midsection, in the mid-fuselage. To accommodate this unusual weapon, the 129's fuselage had bulges added above and below the gun compartment, giving the aircraft a distinct modified silhouette. The SG-113A was a recoilless system, meaning the counterweights, in this case steel slugs, were launched upwards as the shells were fired downwards, offsetting the recoil and helping prevent structural damage to the light aircraft, i.e. ripping itself apart. In theory, this allowed the pilot to strike armoured vehicles without subjecting the fragile airframe to the heavy forces typical of large caliber artillery. Despite the ingenuity of the concept, the system was never used operationally. Tests revealed that the magnetic sensor could not reliably detect tanks, especially under battlefield conditions with varying terrain, other metal objects, or debris. The combination of mechanical complexity, limited effectiveness, and increased weight made the SG-113A impractical, and the project was abandoned. But it's still kind of cool in a way.
I love this. This is like reverse jazz music.
Yeah, and believe it or not, they also trialed this on the Focke-Wulf 190 in the wings.
Oh, hell.
Yeah. But I'm not sure I'd want to be that pilot. You fly low and slow right over the battlefield where you're in, shooting distance of anything, and then just hope that you go over a tank, the recoilless system works, it fires, and you actually hit something, because you can't tell if you actually hit it or not until you try and turn it around.
Right?
But
it's like wild weasels in Vietnam.
Yeah, pretty much. But at the same time, you tell someone, you read up on this, and it's like, I get what they were going with, but
Good intention, bad execution.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know till you try.
Yeah, I would have loved to see those test results or even footage of that test, to be honest. That would have been funny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if you want to build the B1 or the B2, well, first we're going to go with the B1. And there's not too many options. I picked, there's a lot of short run stuff that you don't want to touch. I picked all the main ones. And you've got two. Two from Hasegawa in 48 scale. And you have the B1 with the 7.92mm gun pack, which would be pretty cool. And then you also have one with North Africa, and that is carrying the 30mm Mark 103. You also have ICM with their B1, which also has the 30mm gun pod and also bombs on the wings, which would probably be too heavy for it. Also in 48 scale, and in 72nd scale from Artillery, we also have the B1 with unknown equipment on it. Best bet would probably honestly be the Hasegawa ones.
I don't know. I'm looking at that ICM.
I mean, the ICM one would probably go. It depends. Is it old ICM or newer ICM?
That is true.
Old ICM, you probably wouldn't want to.
That's very true.
Just from what I've heard about it.
Yeah, old Hasegawa, they still they're kind of like Tamiya. Their aircraft hold up.
Yeah, well, I've only built one Hasegawa aircraft, and it was not good. But I have a feeling it was one of their Reeboks, toolings. Yeah.
No, I built a Tamiya kit one time that was absolutely shit. I realized it was a Reebok's Artillery.
Yeah, that's right. Tamiya and Artillery had that little. Ugh.
Yeah.
If you want to build a B2, well, you have a few more options and a few more scales. So, first off, you have a Tsukimura in 32nd scale. That was the B2 with the R3, which is the 30mm cannon. Grey Matter also has a B2 in 32nd scale with a very cool looking camo scheme.
Very.
Hasegawa, all 48 scale. You got a B2 with bombs. You got a standard B2 with a 30mm cannon. You've got a B2, the Shlakgevierwada. I don't know. It looks like a night fighter. And also a B2 in winter camouflage, the exact same as the grey matter one, funnily enough. And 48 scale as well, ICM has one, as well as Hobby 2000 have two in 48 scale, North Africa and Eastern Front. Hobby 2000 usually Hasegawa and other reboxes, but they add in a few extras. Usually stuff like canopy masks.
Oh,
So, and they usually sell fairly cheap as well.
nice.
Yeah. But if you want to build a B2, strongly recommend. Also, one of the Hasegawa ones has the B2 with bombs. Also comes in Romanian colors as well.
Oh, I would enjoy that.
Another page for the B2s. We have MN model in 48 scale, Ravel in 48 scale if you hate yourself, Artillery in 72nd scale if you really hate yourself. Tamir in 72nd scale is most likely the artillery one, reboxed. And of course you have the TACOM Wings B2 with a full interior with the 30mm cannon fully detailed inside, and I really, 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 really want that kit.
I forgot that they came out with that.
Pardon?
Oh, I forgot that they came out with that.
Yeah. So it comes with a figure as well. Nope, doesn't come with a figure, unfortunately, but it does come with a full interior and the clear panels along the fuselage and the wings, so you can fully detail up the inside and you can see it, which I honestly would do.
Yeah,
You know,
there you go, boys.
Pardon?
I said, there you go, boys. That's good to get.
It really is. It really is. I've seen it built up and it looks amazing. Last of the B series, the B3. So the 129 B2 armed with the 30mm and 37mm cannons proved pretty effective against Soviet tanks, usually hitting the thinner sides and rears, rather than trying to go for the front. By early 1944, with newer and tougher Soviet designs appearing, the Luftwaffe wanted something even bigger. And the RLM asked Henschel to see if a 75mm PaK 40L could be fitted onto the B2.
Oh, this is beautiful.
This is ultimately what the 129 is known for.
Yeah.
They started with a wooden mock-up under the fuselage of WN 141258 and tested it aerodynamically at Travemünde in May 1944. Flight trials showed it didn't hurt handling. So 3 aircraft were fitted with the real gun for live fire tests against captured Soviet tanks in August-September 1944. The results were impressive. The 75mm could knock out almost any Soviet armored vehicle, including the massive IS-2 heavy tank. Although, I mean, you're firing a cannon with but you've added on an extra 410 kilometers an hour to that projectile.
Yes.
For all those wondering why, smaller cannons from aircraft can penetrate armor, that's usually something to remember. Is they're flying at a much higher rate, so there's a lot of added energy to those rounds versus if you're stationary. For aircraft use, the PaK 40L was modified with a muzzle brake and electro-pneumatic operation, and redesignated as the BK 7.5. It fired 16 rounds from a drum magazine, with each round weighing around 12 kilograms at a cyclic rate of 40 rounds a minute, which is pretty impressive for a 75mm.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Also, you can, I need to send you guys a link. You can find footage of this thing firing, and it does fire fairly quickly. The gun could penetrate over 5 inches of armor at point blank range and about 3.7 inches at 30 degrees, enough to tear through virtually all Soviet tanks from the side and rear. Spent shells and gases were ejected through the ventral pod, and the pilot could jettison the whole gun in an emergency. These successful trials led to the HS-129B3, which became standard with the 75mm BK 7.5. To save weight, the two 20mm cannons were removed, but the two 7.92mm MG17s were kept. The B3 also swapped the old Revy gun sight for a ZFR-3B telescopic sight mounted in front of the windshield. Production kicked off in July 1944 with Henchel's Johannesthal plant. Sorry for any pronunciations, but I'm stupid. Only 23 aircraft were built, serving with SG-9 on the Eastern Front during the winter of 1944-45, assigned to the 10th and 14th Panzerquacken. The last B-3s were delivered in October 1944, and the surviving planes flew until March 1945, where they were grounded due to fuel shortages. So, yeah, only 23 of these were actually built, but this is like the one that it's, where it's got its name Panzerquacken, basically, because that's what it's known for, just a giant cannon on it. Also wanted to talk about this ZFR-3B gun sight, because you'll notice on all 129s that they have this, block thing outside the windscreen. This one's a slightly different one. It was a purpose-built telescopic gun sight added to the Hs-129B3 to give pilots a proper aiming tool for the BK 7.5. Basically the difference between pointing by eye and using a rifle telescope. Mounted immediately in front of the windshield, the ZFR-3B put a magnified, stabilized-ish, you can only do so much, view of the target right where the pilot needed it, and replaced the older, less precise Revy sight used on earlier 129s. Functionally, the ZFR-3B provided magnification and a ballistic reticle calibrated for the heavy, slow-flying characteristics of the B3 and the BK 7.5's long, flat trajectory. That meant pilots could estimate the range, apply the correct elevation, and lead for a low-altitude, fast-closing pass, and aim to hit the thinner side and rear armor of Soviet tanks, where the 75mm had the best chance of a kill. In short, it turned the B3 from a point-and-hope platform into a weapon system with proper aiming maths behind it. That said, the ZFR-3B wasn't magic. Telescopic sights narrow your field of view, which made spotting small and fast targets and tracking during tight maneuvers harder, a real drawback in the chaotic, low-level environment that the 129 operated in. The sight also demanded good lighting and careful range estimation. Errors at low altitude could mean missing entirely or firing too late. Pilots needed training and practice to use it effectively, especially since when trying to squeeze 3 or 4 shots out of the BK 7.5 on a single pass. From a maintenance and integration angle, the ZFR-3B was a pragmatic upgrade. Rugged enough for frontline use, mounted where the pilot could glance between instruments and the sight, and tuned to the B3 specific ballistics. But it added complexity and another piece of kit that could be damaged by flak, rough landings, or simple wear, all problems that dogged late war Luftwaffe equipment. Overall, the ZFR-3B materially improved the 129B3's ability to score hits with its huge 75mm gun and made anti-tank work more practical than before. It didn't solve the aircraft's inherent vulnerabilities, but for trained crews, it was an important element that turned the 75mm cannon into a workable aerial anti-tank weapon. And if you want to build one of the B3s, well, you have MN Hobby again in 48 scale. Hasegawa has 2 of them, both with the cannon. One of them just with SG-9 squadron. You also have Tsukimura in 32nd scale and Takom Wings in 48 scale, again with the clear parts so you can see inside everything. This one I would really like to get because you get the BK 7.5 fully detailed up with the revolving barrel and every revolving drum and everything inside, so you get like the full look of it, which just looks amazing, I gotta say.
I'm thinking like a whole maintenance scene with the gun like out and stripped and everything.
Yeah, that as well. Although, yeah, need to find photos of that, how they actually managed to pull it out. But nah, because either that or I really wouldn't mind having it in 32nd scale as well. The Tsukimura one.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
just so big.
It's just it's Tsukimura. What more could you want?
Mm-hmm.
So not much change after the B series. You do have the C and the D. These were never built, but planned. The C was an advanced development intended to resolve the persistent performance limitations of earlier 129 variants. Henschel planned to replace the existing Argus engines with Italian Isotta Francini Delta air-cooled inverted V12 inline engines, each rated at 850 horsepower and weighing approximately 510 kilograms. Compared to the Argus AS411 engine of similar configuration, which produced roughly 650 horsepower and weighed 385, the Delta offered a significant increase in power output, albeit at a modest weight penalty. The increased power was expected to improve top speed, climb rate, and overall payload capacity, making the aircraft more capable in its low-level ground attack and anti-tank roles. Technical integration required extensive modifications to the engine nacelles, cowling, and cooling systems, as well as adjustments to the aircraft's center of gravity to accommodate the heavier and more powerful engines. Production was repeatedly delayed due to these engineering challenges, combined with wartime shortages of components and materials. The HS-129C never reached operational service, and the program was ultimately halted when Allied forces overran Henschel's factory in 1945. Something that can put a real dampener on things.
A little bit.
And the HS-129D presented a more ambitious attempt to substantially increase the aircraft's performance by incorporating high-output German power plants. Proposed options included either twin Junkers twin Junkers Jumo 211 engines rated at 1,085 horsepower each, or twin BMW 801 radial engines delivering 1,539 horsepower per unit. These engines would have provided a dramatic improvement to speed, payload, and climb over any previous 129 variant. The D would have required major structural and aerodynamic modifications to accommodate large engines, including reinforced wings, center sections, redesigned engine mounts, and adjustments for the aircraft's weight distribution. Despite the promising performance projections, no prototypes were ever constructed, and the project remained on the drawing board as the war situation for Germany deteriorated. The 129D thus represents a theoretical high-performance evolution of the type that was never realized. And the last bit I'm going to talk about is a little bit of theatre history, but also about the paint schemes and what you should use for them if you want to build one of these. Excuse me. The standard HS-129 camouflage and markings, upper surfaces, standard Luftwaffe splinter camouflage consisting of RLM 70 black green and RLM 71 dark green, applied in irregular patterns like the splinter camouflage we all know and love. Undersurfaces painted RLM 65 light blue. For Eastern Front markings, aircraft operating on the Eastern Front added RLM 27 yellow to nose, underside wingtips, and fuselage bands for quick identification. Fuselage markings, squadron letters, and squadron-specific colours were painted ahead of the national insignia. A black triangle with white trim aft of the insignia indicated assignment to a ground attack formation. Nose panel, painted in RLM 71 dark green to reduce glare for the pilot, sometimes featured a white stenciled Wehrmacht infantry assault badge.
That is pretty cool, actually.
That's kind of cool. And squadron insignia usually placed behind the cockpit on the fuselage sides for individual aircraft identification. For the North African markings, upper surfaces, standard Luftwaffe splinter pattern using RLM 70 and 71. Some aircraft received lighter sand-hued adaptations to the blend with desert terrain. Undersurfaces were the good old RLM 65 light blue. Occasionally, light sand tones were used for desert operations as well. Theatre-specific markings. Aircraft operating in North Africa often carried RLM 79 sand yellow on nose, tail, and wing panels to improve camouflage against desert landscapes. Fuselage markings, squadron letters, and assigned squadron colours ahead of the insignia, with black trimmed triangles aft of the insignia indicating ground attack formation assignment. Nose panel usually painted in good old RLM 71 to reduce glare. Desert variants sometimes incorporating lighter masking because, a big black green square will kind of stand out against desert. And as usual, squadron insignia behind the cockpit.
What happened to that bird right there?
Which one?
What happened to it? Any info?
This one here.
Yeah. It's like the props are all bent in.
Most likely it probably had a hydraulic failure, couldn't get the landing gear down, belly landed, and then they probably just winch it up so they could extend the landing gear so it could sit on that.
Okay.
A belly landing wouldn't actually put most aircraft out of action if you did it good enough. I mean, most of it, you just have to check the structural stability of the entire frame, replace the propellers, because that'd be fucked. But but after that, they did that a lot with B-17s as well. A lot of B-17s could do a belly landing and still be flyable once you repair it. So, and I mean, considering how much armor this thing had around those areas, it probably didn't do too much to it. You're looking at 5mm of armor.
Yeah,
that should be fine.
Oh yeah, should be.
I also do love the German desert camouflage as well.
Oh yeah.
Romanian service, because that's actually one thing that you see a lot of 129s is in Romanian service. Following the Axis defeat at Stalingrad, the Royal Romanian Air Force sought to modernize its close support aircraft. In spring 1943, the 129B2 was selected to a Groupal 8 assault, or the 8th Assault Group, formed from the former 8th Fighter Group on 11th of May 1943. The unit, based initially in Tagskor near... Oh, Jesus Christ, I thought German's bad enough. Eastern Europe is even worse.
Ploesti,
consists of 3 squadrons, 41st, 42nd, and 60th. Pilots trained on German Hs-129B2s in Kirogov, Ukraine. And by August 1943, the group had received 34 aircraft, assigned tail numbers according to squadron. Deployed first in Mariupol West and then Kramatorskaya, Ukraine, all places that are currently in the news now for the same thing. I know that. The 8th AG flew its first combat missions on 16th of August 1943 against Soviet troop concentrations. The B-2s were heavily engaged in operations between the Donets and Mias rivers, whatever. Flying multiple sorties daily. Constant Soviet pressure forced the unit to retreat multiple times, with aircraft losses mainly due to anti-aircraft fire and occasional airfield raids. Replacement aircraft were issued using the original tail numbers with suffixes 111A to indicate replacements. Or if you're poor enough like this guy down here, he's got B. Means he's been shot down twice.
Yep.
That poor guy who goes like, well, I've run out of space to add the extra A, so now I'm double A.
Every time's a charm, gents. Let's get after it.
Right.
I think once you hit Z, you're just not allowed to fly at that point.
I think that's going to be like the Americans in their 25 missions. It's like, all right, you're done.
Yeah. Through 1944, the 8th AG operated in southern Ukraine, Bessarabia, whatever.
Bessarabia.
And Moldavia, flying intense low-level support missions against advancing Soviet forces. Aircraft numbers fluctuated due to combat losses, spare part shortages, and operational attrition. On the 23rd of August 1944, following Romania's switch to the Allies, they did the Italian. They pulled in Italy. The 8th AG seized both its own serviceable B-2s and additional Luftwaffe aircraft. The unit was reorganized under Soviet command, supporting operations in Transylvania, Hungary, Slovakia, and southern Poland until the final missions over Moravia on 8th of May 1945. After the war, surviving B-2s returned to Romania, but shortages of spare parts quickly reduced the fleet. The last Romanian Henschels were retired in 1948. Jesus. Overall, Romania operated approximately 250 HS-129B2s between 43 and 44, primarily in the close support anti-tank roles. I gotta say, Romania is also another one of those countries that got off lightly in some respects.
Yeah, I mean, they was ruled over by the Soviet Union, though, for how long after?
Yeah,
So not really.
that's
Yeah,
true.
they got theirs. They got theirs.
Yeah. Although the Romanian dictator certainly got his at some point. Right. Camouflage and markings, Romanian service. Upper surfaces, standard Luftwaffe splinter pattern using RLM 70 and 71. Some Romanian operated 129s retain these patterns from Luftwaffe transfers. Undersurfaces painted 65 light blue, although in some operational cases a lighter grey-blue may have been applied to match local conditions. National markings. Romanian HS-129s carried the blue, yellow and red tricolour roundels on wings and fuselage sides, replacing German insignia, although occasionally they also had the cross.
Mm-hmm.
Fuselage letters and unit markings. Squadron letters were typically retained or adapted, often placed ahead of the national roundels. Triangles or other Luftwaffe indicators were removed or replaced with Romanian tactical markings. Theatre-specific adaptations. Units operating in the Eastern Front alongside German forces sometimes retained partial German camouflage patterns but added Romanian national identifiers for distinction. Nose and canopy. The dark green nose panel from Luftwaffe examples was sometimes retained, canopy framing largely following original Luftwaffe configuration. I also kind of like the Romanian style, especially they look good.
Yeah. When you come over for the Nationals, we'll make it over to the National Air and Space Museum. It's like they got a Ju-88 in Romanian markings.
Oh,
Deal. And lastly, other service. Several 129s fell into Allied hands during World War II, in both flyable and non-flyable condition. On 14th November 1942, an HS-129B1 was downed near Al-Shevdomo.
I'm drawing a blank there.
Yeah, close enough. They were shot down by Soviet level. Oh, for fuck's sake! I'm losing it now.
LA-5. LA-5 fighters.
Yeah, by LA-5 fighters, making a wheels-up landing in Soviet territory. The aircraft was reportedly transported to Moscow for evaluation, although no further details are known. After overrunning a German airfield near Stalingrad in early 1943, Soviet forces captured several intact B-2s. During the North Africa campaign in late 1942 and early 43, British and American forces also seized a number of HS-129B2s. Two were used for flight tests by the British and by the Americans. Both were ultimately scrapped after the war. You heathens. You should have kept them.
It's like, you bastards.
I know, it's like, just put them in a hangar somewhere. All of those, just put them in a hangar and pay a guy $20 to fucking look after them.
Like Indiana Jones says, it belongs in a museum.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a big anti-war sentiment, and they wanted to get rid of a lot of things that reminded them about it after the war. So you can't really blame them for that too much.
Yeah.
In August 1943, Germany sent 4 HS-129Bs to Hungary to train a planned Hungarian ground attack squadron. One aircraft was lost in a flight accident, killing the Hungarian pilot, and low availability of the 129s halted further deliveries. The 3 surviving aircraft were returned to Germany that fall. Spain expressed interest in the 129 and ordered 3 aircraft in July 1944, but the order was cancelled due to urgent Luftwaffe needs. Bulgaria also evaluated the 129 but ultimately chose the Ju-87 Stuka for its air force. And that's it. That's all for the HS-129, the Panzerquacken. Hope you guys enjoyed that little presentation and hope it's inspired you all to find one, build one, now that you know what they look like, what they carried, and how they're painted. We're just going
Definitely
to have.
an attack on kit.
Yeah, that I really want that TACOM kit as well. It'll just look so good.
It will.
We're just going to have a brief intermission now before we get on to the usual hobby news, works in progress, all those sort of updates. So we'll be right back. And we are back with the hobby news. And as usual, in our new way, I am going to tell these two gentlemen what's in the news, and they're going to give us their rating and review on what they think about that new release, looking at the subject and all of that. As usual, score out of 10 of what we think about them all. So, first off, we have... So, up first from 3D Wild, we have an Iwo Jima class amphibious assault ship 1990s, available in both 1 to 350 and 1 to 700 scale model kit. Garrison, what was the one that you served on? What class was that?
The only thing I know about that ship was it was the LHA USS America. That's all I know. Or LHA 6 USS America.
America.
America. Okay, what are we thinking? Iwo Jima class of amphibious assault ship. Me personally, I would love to have one. I think the assault ships are kind of cool.
I'm not a ship guy, but this is pretty tits.
Yeah. Well, I'm not much into modern stuff.
I'll go 6 out of 10.
Yeah, that 6 out of 10 works.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Oh,
Oh, where's Don when we need him?
I want it so bad.
I'm sending a photo to him of this later. So from, I believe this is Ace model, we have the half-ton Iltis with an AT missile kit, the Milan, in 35th scale, which is something that this podcast has wanted in a long time. Don't know how good Ace model are, but I mean...
We'll figure it out.
Here it is.
Well, this is what we've been wanting for a while, so now we've got it. So now we need to try and find a kit for each of the podcast members, so we can do a group build just for between the 5 of us.
Yes. I give this a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah. 9.5 out of 10, I can agree with that. We need to send a photo of this one to Don and Dennis as well, by the way. I just kept it until after, because I didn't want you guys to see it.
This the only thing that would make this better if it came with figures like a driver and a gunner. That would make it.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be good, but I don't think it will, although I'm sure there's kits out there that have a driver and a Milan gunner you could probably use.
Probably. Do some scratch building too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, someone finally did it. It's only taken how long?
Forever.
Yeah, it's probably gonna suck though.
Oh, that shit.
Most likely. Unfortunately.
Hey, we'll work with it. It's okay. But that thing is hideous.
Up next from Miniart, we're getting a KFZ2 German communications car, the Type 170 VK. Yeah, I'm not
this
sure.
is a wire layer.
It's what?
This is a communication cable layer.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. I mean, if you have that in a diorama where they're actively laying... Do I want to say laying cable? Or at least they're not laying pipe.
Yeah.
Oh.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It is in the it is in the DAC camouflage scheme. It is North Africa, so I'll give it extra points for that because I am a sucker for North Africa campaign stuff.
Oh yeah.
It does kind of look cool. I kind of like it, and it is different. It is new compared to other things we've been seeing lately. I mean, I've never heard about this one before this anyway. So yeah, I like it.
It looks like Mercedes and a Land Rover had a baby.
I think that's why I don't like it.
It's
And
Mercedes in the front and a Land Rover in the back.
And neither had a choice.
Yeah. It was against both of their wheels.
Ryfield Model will releasing a new Tiger 1 mid-production. The only thing that's different, though, is they are adding in a whole bunch of new stuff, resin stuff, and clear parts for the turret, so you have a full interior that you can see from the outside. Which kind of makes sense sometimes if you're going to do a full interior kit, add in a couple of clear parts so you can actually see inside it, you know?
3 out of 10.
Yeah, you know people will buy it, unfortunately. It is a Tiger.
Yeah, but, I mean, we got a lot of good Tigers already. I want something else. 3 out of 10.
Yeah, 3 out of 10. Garrison?
I'm gonna give it a solid it's Ryfield, it's gonna be a good kit. So I give it a 4.5.
As you can see, this podcast really likes the Tiger.
Oh, no, I
It's
love
a
the Tiger.
good-
It's just
It's,
we
it's
got
a good
too much.
tank.
Yeah,
It's just oversaturated.
Yeah. From Spala, I think that's how you pronounce it. In their 3D printed model kits and accessories, we have a light howitzer, the M119A2, the American Towed artillery howitzer. One that is used quite a bit nowadays. What were you thinking of this? I mean, nah.
If it was
It's
135th
72nd.
scale, it'd be a 7.
Yeah, it is in 1/72nd, so it will be pretty small. So I'll give it a 2 out of 10. Not the best.
If you're doing 72nd scale modern shit, this is great, right? If it was 35th, I would give it a solid 7 to 8 because I love artillery, model artillery. But I will never build it.
Yeah.
Not in 72nd. I mean, it'd be interesting to see it considering it's the 3D printed. But
That's true.
And if it's 3D printed, all they have to do is just scale their files up.
yeah,
They can make it any scale they want.
and then printed to a proper scale.
Exactly.
Another one from Mini Art. This is so it's sort of it's not a brand new, but it's an addition to their one of their Pack 40 Late. It is a special edition, the Pack 40 Late 75mm anti-tank gun with elite artillery regiment crew included. So this is their very, very nice Pack 40 they released earlier. Now they're adding in a crew set with it as well. Which, I know these two would be quite interested in this one, especially Garrison, I think, with those figures.
I'm foaming at the mouth, I ain't gonna lie.
8 out of 10 for me. If I find it, I'll find it.
Yeah, I'm throwing that 8.5, 9 out of 10 because not only is it a new Pack 40, because we got the Tamiya one and a couple others, but Mini Art, I know they'll do a good job with it. And then they're adding fucking figures. Oh, brother. It's going in a diorama.
Also, camo scheme on the gun kind of fucks as well.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Brother, could you imagine doing that in a Holland diorama on a straight corner with a Sherman round in the corner?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I do like how also they're showing 2 different round types as well.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, they are, aren't they?
And lastly, we have a snowman model. This is the SMS Lutzow 1916. They bring this out in a deluxe edition, which means you have 5 photo etch sheets, scribe brass for the barrels, 3D printed parts, and a wooden deck, all in 1/700 scale. Don't know about you guys, but I would really, 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 really love this one. It's a World War I battleship. I love World War I battleships. Yeah.
I will never build it. I will never own it. However, this is a really cool kit, and that's awesome that you get all that photo etch and extra stuff with it. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
I'll agree.
I'm going to go for a 9 out. I'm going to go 9 out of 10 just because you've got me at World War I battleship. That's all I need. They're so cool. They're so weird in design because they're still trying to figure out stuff, especially if you look at stuff like the Kaiser or the Nassau or Belafrons and Neptunes, where they got not all the guns are centerline, they're on the wings and they're staggered and they look all so stupid and cool at the same time. And that's all we got for the hobby news. Now we're going to go and talk about what we've been working on lately. And first up is Garrison.
All right, so I've been a little busy with life lately, so there has not been a lot of modeling. I did start working. Things aren't shown. I did start working on a HIDF diorama with field artillery in it, as well as a M3 half track in Italy. Those projects are on hold, along with a bunch of other projects, so I can start working on this full interior T60 early series by MiniArt. It's a very, very in-depth little kit. It's fun to build, but it's very in-depth, and with my small amount of time I have to actually come down here and work, it's taken me a little while, but we're getting there. The interior is mostly done, minus the turret, and starting on the outside. That's what I've got for that so far.
That's an insane level of detail for the interior.
Yes,
That is a
Yes,
nice
that's-
one here.
Yeah, that's the mini art one, isn't it?
it is. It is.
Yeah, because I've got the RPM kit, and that's got like photo etch and everything, but it's still not as detailed as that. I mean, you've got like ammo bins and everything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
put
it's gonna be a
some
blast.
you put some gasoline in that engine, that bitch will turn over.
Right?
Nah,
And then
that's gonna look real cool when you paint it up.
Oh, yeah.
thank you. I'm excited to paint it up, get the inside all done, make it nice and purty. And up next, something I did while we worked on the podcast was get a rough layout of what the diorama is going to look like. The foam will be replaced. I kind of botched it up a little bit, but essentially it's going to be the T60 is going to be detracked and abandoned with all the hatches open to show off the inside. There's going to be a ditch with a machine gun nest dug into it, and then little 30 MG34 team setting up, shooting down range with the German running with the ammo in the back. And then I'm debating on adding a Russian assault figure on the opposite side of the T60, like he's sneaking up on the Germans.
Is that from the new Tamiya German pack?
It is, and oh my god, the figures are spectacular. If Tamiya keeps up like that, oh dude.
I mean, even that the MG34 with that belt looks really good.
Oh, dude, it is beautifully designed, amazing detail, everything. It's Tamiya. It fits together like a glove. It's just great.
I think you're going to have the figures manning it as well.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm going to have to redo the foam is because the figures because they're supposed to be sitting on a flat surface, not angled off. I accidentally did the wrong measurement when cutting, so I'll have to do a new foam block. But that's okay. We're going to work with it. I think moving forward, since I'm starting that new job in college in January, I'm going to be doing smaller dioramas like this, little foam blocks with just a couple figures in a vehicle.
No more massive Cherbourg or whatever that one was.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the last one I'll be doing is like that I currently have on the bench is the Italy one with like 12 figures and the half track and the big building with archway. That'll probably be my last one for a while. I know I've got the Korean War diorama that I really want to work on. That'll have like a Chaffee and a Willys Jeep and a bunch of infantry because I've already got everything except for the Willys Jeep. But I probably won't do that for a hot minute.
Nice.
Oh,
So this is one of mine. I'm currently working on a diorama for once.
sex.
Still learning how to do them. So this one is an airborne anti-tank team from the 101st in St. Mariglis. Well, that's what I'm basing it off. The building is from Temu. It's one of the building kits that you can buy from there, and they are super fun to put together, I got to say, and they're really nicely detailed. So for the building, you have this big flat wall that didn't have much. You got the exposed bricks, but otherwise it's just sort of like, you know, flat, empty color. I kind of figured, well, let's go a bit nuts, and I printed off a wall advert from the period. Overscaled it so I could just have just certain aspects of it because it's going to be all cut away and stuff. Just to show color, basically. I just wanted to add color to it. And yeah, this panel on the wall is literally just printed paper soaked in water and PVA.
I love that.
It looks so good.
It does.
Yeah, it's come out better than I anticipated, because then after that I lightly airbrushed it with deck tan to get it to blend in a bit, and then because it was enamel paint, I got a rag with terps on it, and then just wiped it back and forth, but like same you do with a wash, just to reduce it. I just wanted to change the color of the paper a bit more. You know, I wanted it to be a bit duller, and then after that sealed it with matte varnish, and then went over with white oil paint and dot filtered it basically, and just trying to get a more and more filtered, weathered, bleached, sun bleached look to it. And it's come out a lot better than I thought it would. So,
definitely.
I think it's fucking perfect. Honestly, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of jealous of how well that turned out. Like, damn, I need to try that.
Same.
So I've got a little bit more work on the figures and the rest of the base to go. I've got the figures. I'm still trying to find airborne decals for figures, just because they don't have badges and patches and stuff on them, and they look they need them. They need that little bit of color, I think.
Yeah,
Didn't Tamiya come out with some airborne decals a few years ago?
I'm not sure, but I don't like Tamiya decals because they're generally shit.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Completely fair.
Very thick, very papery, with like heavy carrier film that don't like to form. So yeah, still looking, still got a bit to do. I might work on the bazooka a little bit, just because some of the details didn't come through. So I might replace a few parts on it with some spares. So still looking into that, but still a work in progress. But I am enjoying it. The house is the only thing I want to do to the house now is just find some 35th scale like pigeons or an owl and a cat maybe to stick in the window, just to indicate. They're setting up an ambush, just to indicate that it's like, it's all quiet. So, you got the cat there, you got the birds there chilling, and then all shit's about to kick off, sort of thing. That's what I'm trying for on this.
Yeah, but you got a 3D printer.
I love it.
Pardon?
I say you got a 3D printer.
Yeah, I do. It doesn't do the best for smaller things. I also need to buy more resin as well. All that resin. But yeah, no, actually just taking my time with this one and just going slow and enjoying the process.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then I've got an update on my M8A1. So I took this to NZIPMS Nationals down in Wellington. And I didn't think it had a chance of anything, right? I was just taking it down to show off because it was like my latest build and it was kind of cool. And then I ended up talking to one of the judges afterwards. And he said I came within this close of actually placing in a national competition.
Oh, no shit.
There was a slight track misalignment issue on the front, and it's one of those, it was small enough that you, at first glance, you didn't notice it, but then when you saw it, and you can't not see it. And he said literally that was the only thing, that was the only issue with it. If it didn't have that, it would have placed. And I thought it was like the sprocket wheel or something had become misaligned. It wasn't. One of the track teeth. Yeah, because these are AFE Club workables. On the inside, where you can't see, had unclipped itself and skewed itself, and it skewed the track.
Oh,
That was literally it. That was all. I was thinking, going, fuck, do I have to take the sprocket wheel apart and all of that? No, it was literally just the track popped itself open and skewed itself.
Ain't that about
Ah.
a bitch?
Yeah. However, knowing how close it got to placing at a national competition, so I'm going to Canberra next week, so I'm going to be bringing this along. And people have convinced me to enter this into Masters, not Standard. Because, well, last year I won 35th, in military vehicles, I won gold in Standard. So it's kind of like, well, I might as well go for Masters now because I got the gold. So I've had 3 judges look over it, and I'm just like asking, it's like, is there anything you can see technical wise? And like 2 of them came back with my paintwork is flawless. They can't see any issues with the paintwork. One of the guys said it's probably like one of the best paint jobs he's seen in a long time. So there have been a few areas I've need to just tidy up, and just like a few things, like a fingerprint I didn't notice somewhere and all that. So I've spent about 4 hours just going over it all, making sure, double, triple checking everything, seeing it how it is. So yeah, it's pretty much all set and ready to be packed up and taken to camera and see how it goes there. But as I was saying to some of my friends, it's better to get, say, a bronze in Masters level than it is a gold in Standard. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat, dude.
Yeah.
Very excited to hear how it turns out.
Same here.
Oh, and there's mine. I got the Avenger done for the group build.
Big boy.
Love the decals. They come from I just lost it. They're from New Zealand. What's that place called again, Callum?
I think they're Ventura. Decals?
Ventura. Yes.
Yeah.
Great decals. Shipped here fast from New Zealand. All around great kit. It's the Accurate Miniatures kit. Of course, you have problems with the rear turret getting it in. It actually wasn't that bad. It's like I seen a video of a guy doing it online, and literally like 5 seconds, you got the thing popped in there. So, of
course, you tried to lose the windows a few times as well.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. That they disappeared, and then apparently the carpet, something took them, and then decided to bring it back to me. And then in a cruel, sick joke, for the Musaru Cup, I'm the one building the kit, which is something called a Skyline GT.
Yeah.
Not really sure. It's a car.
I knew it. I was sitting there going, it's going to the one guy who does not want to build a car, and even better, it's a Japanese tuner. It's like, I was telling some of the guys, it's like, they went to the one guy who lives in Indiana.
Right.
It's like, yeah, he's totally going to know what Japanese street racer style is.
I'm glad it went to you, Clint, and not me, because that was, oh my god, that would have sucked. Do not envy you whatsoever.
So I'm in the sole mindset, might as well be in it to win it. Lacey came up with the idea of doing like a white and pink interior.
Okay.
This is the second iteration of the interior because this plastic does not run a hold paint. It's like I washed it in dish soap, thoroughly dried it. I lightly sanded with 600 grit. Put a primer of Mr. Leveling, Mr. Surfacer 1500 with Mr. Leveling thinner, and still, you just like barely look at it, and once scrape the paint off the corners of stuff.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is terrible plastic. I've used thanks. So I've used flocking to simulate carpet in the floor.
Nice.
Nice.
and it's like I trying to train my mind like it needs to be clean, but it's like I still added like a pen wash with oil paints and feathered like to get like dirt in the creases and stuff. It's like it's like why am I doing this? Like someone would probably keep this car immaculate.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, at the same time, it adds a little bit of character to it. It's like, well, it's not like a show car. It's actually one that's like used at the same time.
Yeah, and one of the guys on the podcast, Kyle, not podcast, but on Discord, it's like he builds a lot of cars. Like he lives in Indiana as well. He's mostly into, of course, like Indy cars and ring sprints and stuff like that. He races a ring sprint. He's been giving me some advice. Apparently, I thought at first like this was an electric car because it didn't have an engine, but he told me it was something called a curbside, which is the style of model kit it is.
The one
Okay.
that won't run.
Yeah, I mean it's just meant to look like a car on the side of the road. It's not not meant to have the hood open and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. Does that make life easier?
I mean, I guess like I said, there's no engine or anything, but I don't know. It's like I said, this plastic sucks. I'm dreading trying to paint the body.
Better you than me,
paint-
buddy. You got
Paint
this.
it, sand it, polish it, clear coat it, polish it. A lot of polishing.
But maybe the plastic for the body be better because it's like the plastic for the body is white, and the interior parts has been this black plastic, and this black plastic's just been terrible.
Nah, yeah. Black plastic is always shit. Does it like melt as well when you
No.
when you add glue to when you add like extra thin to it? Does it like come off on the brush?
Oh yeah, but the thing is, it won't hold anything together. Like it won't melt pieces together. The black, it's like I've been having to use super glue because
Yeah,
to me,
I-
it's been,
I had the same with that Ural that I built for my Musery entry. That sort of feels more vinyl-y than it should. Plastic. Yeah.
one of the modeling forums that I'm on. It's like I've been trying to get like some advice from them, and one of the people said it's like it sounds like a silicone. Was it silicone? Oh, not induction. Contamination. It's like the plastic sounds to him like it's been contaminated with silicone. Like actually embedded itself into the plastic. So I don't know. I just said I'm hoping to get this done and on to the next because I want to build the old Tamiya Schwimmwagen next.
Well, you got motivation to finish it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to look great with those decals you bought for it. So.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to put a picture of that. Oh, but speaking of Schwimmwagen, it's like in the background of the picture there, it's like them tires are ones that I 3D printed for the Schwimmwagen.
Oh, nice.
So,
Very good. Very good.
yep.
All right. And that is all for what we've been working on. So, a little update on our naval aircraft group build. We have changed the dates. Instead of the 30th of September, we changed it to the 31st of December. So, you've got the rest of the year to finish off your group build submission. Primarily because a lot of people will be making some amazing builds, I gotta say. And we really want to see them finished. So, if you still want to join, you still have time. As usual, it is anything naval and maritime defense, or primarily maritime in nature. So, jump on and get to it. Still got tons of time to start and finish something. And that is it. That is all for our episode. But before we close out, we'd like to give a big shout out to our Patreon supporters. As usual, we have Paul Gallagher, Lord Flaky, Robert Judson, Brel Mastrooni, and Liam Barnett as our Pinju supporters, and our Pinju followers, Robert Brisbane and Frank Little. Big shout out to you guys for supporting the podcast and having a bit of faith in us. We do know that this year has been a bit light on the old content, but some things we just can't, we're at that age of life changes and shit like that. You know, young people.
Career
yeah.
shift, school.
Yeah. Things get in the way that we have to deal with, so. But we finally managed to actually get together and record an episode, something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's just, we finally got it.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
But, yeah.
There's a lot of
Until-
stuff planned for the future. It's just
Yeah.
time to.
Kind of been this year. We've managed an episode a month so far, which is at least is something. You know?
Oh yeah.
But until next time, you have been watching and listening to the Micro Machines podcast. We thank you for supporting us for, let's see, we will be coming up on 5 years soon.
Shit.
Yeah.
In about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 5 months. Yeah, we'll be hitting start of year 5 of the podcast. Can't believe it. But until then, we will see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.
See ya.
Deuces.